The White House Chief of Staff John Kelly after this whole report about Ivanka's emails came out. So, is the White House taking this seriously enough? Do they have reason to be worried or not?
Well, a couple things. First of all, this is more do what we say and not what we do coming from this White House. That's point number one. Point number two is Trey Gowdy is absolutely correct. What we've seen over the last 2 years since the 2016 election and the coming forward of the information about Hillary's emails is that Hillary's done it, Comey's done it, and now Ivanka's done it. What I suspect is that a whole lot of other people are using the integration of personal emails and work emails, which gets tricky, and the only people who would be able to tell us if there was a national security violation are certainly not Ivanka or her lawyers, but the people that Trey Gowdy is saying we need more information. We're going to have to look at this in the context of, was there a violation of national security? Was there any information that was shared that was inappropriate? And I don't trust Ivanka's lawyer or Ivanka or President Trump to tell me that there hasn't been such a violation. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be reviewed in the same way that they've called Jim Comey up to testify. You saw on Thanksgiving Day he got a request from the House to come and testify. And I suspect they're going to do the same to Ivanka, which is correct. And let's let the chips fall where they fall after they're looked at in the proper light. That's how I want to look at it.
So here's the bottom line question to you, Peter. Is this any real security threat to the White House, or is it just about optics and the potential of people saying, hey, look, this is hypocritical?
Probably at the end of the day, you're right, it's going to be primarily hypocritical. But it's very important to note that despite the RNC spokesperson, despite the White House, despite the president, we don't know the facts. And what they do very well is in the void between knowing the truth and the facts, they can make up stuff. So at the moment, we don't really know the full breadth of this. All I know is that this is a deliberate attempt to circumvent the rules. And it's a pattern in the history of the Trump family when they were in real estate. And consequently, there's no question in my mind that she knew the rules. She decided to break them because they're above the rules, they're above the law, unlike the rest of us. So I think this could be problematic. But at the end of the day, with all the promises of shutting down the government, et cetera, it'll probably take a back seat.
Okay. I have another topic I want to get to, but I'll give you the last word on this, Kaylee.
Yeah, you know, perhaps you didn't read all of the Washington Post story. This was before she was ever briefed on the rules. So to say this was a deliberate circumvention of the rules is just inaccurate. She hadn't even been briefed on the rules at the time. This was not a deliberate cover-up. What a deliberate cover-up looks like is having a server in the basement of Chappaqua, an entirely private system, bleach fit, and hammers to your devices. That was not Ivanka Trump. That was Hillary Clinton.
But can I just ask you, do you think it speaks well of Ivanka Trump that she didn't just say, you know, this was a huge problem, and my father talked about this all the time on the campaign trail. You know, I got to be honest, I wouldn't have needed to be briefed. I would have said, okay, I'm doing something professional. And I mean, do you think it was just a lapse of judgment? Does that speak well about Ivanka?
No, I don't think it was a lapse of judgment at all. I think when she's juggling 10 things at once and making child care plans that happen to touch on official business, she wasn't thinking about the Public Records Act, certainly not before being briefed. So if
Alex, I'm sorry, I got to jump in
very
here.
different than classified info.
Which
Hillary Clinton was making wedding plans for her daughter's wedding on her emails. Does she get a pass now?
33,000 missing emails.
But she gets chance of lock her up. You know, Kaylee, you're a smart woman, that this
Sophia,
is bad optics for the White House. It doesn't matter. You can't say lock up one woman and the other one gets a pass. It doesn't fly.
Okay.
Well, we don't know if they're classified or not yet because we're going to have to wait until they're investigated. Would you agree?
110
That's what the White House is
emails.
telling us. We know. I don't know that for a fact at all.
Everyone wants to talk about gaps. What about the 33,000 missing Hillary Clinton emails? I haven't heard one person on this panel
not president. Hillary's
those.
gone off the public stage. Let's talk about Ivanka Trump and her emails. That's what we ought to be focused on.
Okay. And we've been talking about Hillary's emails for 2 years and change now. So anyway.